Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our website, starborninstitute.org, you would already know that the title of tonight's show is Quick Change. And the reason why we can all be undergoing some sort of quick change, perhaps almost immediately, or certainly even by tomorrow, is for 3 different reasons. And you don't have to have all 3 reasons to have a quick change. Maybe only one of them is going to promote a quick change. But even if it doesn't happen to you, if it happens around you, it could still affect you. And that is because the malefic planets are in a very harsh aspect right now. So the first reason why there could be a quick change is because Mars has changed now. It's gone out of Taurus and it has gone into Gemini. And it is exactly at 2 degrees of Gemini, and all even numbers represent material matters or business or job-related matters. At 2 degrees of Gemini, Mars is exactly opposing Saturn at 2 degrees of Sagittarius. And since those are 2 malefic planets, when they come up against each other, there can be quite a bit of pressure. And that pressure is heightened right now by the fact that Neptune in Pisces is squaring that Mars in Gemini, and it is also squaring Saturn in Sagittarius. And so what that means is that since Gemini rules youth, or it could even rule a gang of people or a whole group of people who could really be passionate about something. Mars represents jealousy, greed, hate, envy, war, and it does stir up the emotions. And so it can be that some young people who are really adamant about something can be challenging authority right now. Maybe they don't want to go through all the proper steps to get something done, but they're going to have to, because Saturn, particularly in Sagittarius, does represent older and wiser people who really know how to do things correctly, because Sagittarius rules the courts, and it rules religion and philosophy and the higher mind, so it rules 4-year colleges and universities. So whereas Mars in Gemini could represent people that are in a big hurry and want a sort of a quick fix for something and can be rebellious, Saturn in Sagittarius, even though it's retrograde, can represent the idea of having to go back and do things exactly right, do them by the book. Well, there's 2 different trains of thought there, and they are running up against each other. And what compounds the problem is that Neptune in Pisces can rule deception. It could rule a cover-up. It could certainly rule omission of information. So there could be warring factions that don't know what the whole story is right now. And that can be a reason for some sort of quick change, because Gemini does rule change and communication, and it does rule transition and short journeys or temporary things. And so while some people can be demanding that, other people can be saying, you need to wait in line, you need to do things right, and neither one of them probably has all the facts at the moment. The second reason why there could be a quick change right now, very, very sudden and surprising, is because the moon today is in Aries, the sign of new beginnings, and so is Uranus. And Uranus is the planet of sudden change and eccentricity and rebellion, and it rules the future and things ahead of their time. It certainly rules all aviation and the space industry, and it certainly rules the intranet and all electronics. So that moon is coming closer and closer. The moon is a very fast-moving planet. It only takes 2.5 days for it to move through the whole 30 degrees of a sign. So by tomorrow, it will exactly conjunct that Uranus, the planet of sudden change. Well, that's in the sign of Aries, the sign of new beginnings. So there could be a quick change involved in some sort of new beginning, because those 2 planets are being beautifully fortified by Jupiter in Leo and also by that Saturn in Sagittarius. So there are 4 planets in fire signs, and they like action. And so tomorrow is probably not a very good day to travel, certainly not a good day to fly, and that is because nobody knows what kind of sudden change there can be. But since the moon rules women, there is the possibility that a woman could make a very quick change right now. And that quick change would represent the fact that some sort of new beginning could almost blow up right now, or it could fail. And the reason why I think there's going to be something like that happen is because the ruler of Aries is Mars. Mars is in a very harsh aspect right now, and it will continue for a while. And so, you know, we all have to be careful, really careful of what we say. Remember, Gemini is a communication sign. So I think the second reason for a quick change is that a woman or anybody could be making a quick change due to a new beginning that sort of blows up or fails right now. The third reason why there could be some sort of quick change right now is due to relationships that are not working too well. And that is because that same Moon and Uranus in Aries are actually squaring Venus and Mercury, which have now moved into Cancer. And so Cancer is the sign of the home, and it does rule women, and it rules real estate and Congress, and it rules anything coming out of the ground. So it rules mining as well, and all manual labor, and it also rules unions, and it rules the food industry. So it rules grocery stores, and it rules restaurants. Cancers are usually very good cooks. However, since Uranus is a love planet, and the moon is there, and it is Cancer's own ruler, but it is in Aries, squaring the sign of Cancer, and squaring Venus, and squaring Mercury, it simply means that our relationships with each other, or with our coworkers, or particularly with our family members, cannot be running smoothly right now, and they can prove to be quite challenging. And that's the third reason why there might be some sort of quick change right now. However, not everything is going to be startling, and it is because there are some good things that are going on that are moving a little bit more slowly, but they're being successful right now. And one of them is that the Sun is in Taurus today, and it is beautifully trining Pluto in Capricorn. And even though Pluto is retrograde, indicating there can be a change of management or a change in policies and rules and regulations, still, because the Sun is trining that Pluto, it simply means that some financial problems are being worked out now. In one way or another, they're sort of slowly getting worked out, and the reason may be due to tighter budgeting, or maybe a change in management. Maybe new management is going to be much more successful than old management. It's worth a try. And not only could there be tighter budgets now, which is why people can live a little bit more within their means, but also a lot of people can be deciding to just roll up their sleeves and work a little harder as well. And that's why those money problems can be getting solved. And finally, there can be the possibility of a dream coming true, and that is because that same Venus and Mercury in Cancer are being beautifully trined by Neptune in Pisces. Neptune is very strong in a trine in particular, because that simply means that with Venus and Neptune trining each other, we can have high ideals. And Pisces does rule forgiveness and charity. So there is the possibility, if you or someone else, or even a country or an organization, is willing to forgive and forget, that could actually save the day right now. And it could help to heal an old wound. So that when there is some sort of quick change, after the surprise or the shock of it is over, I think that a lot of people will be feeling some relief. And that the outward result of a quick change will be eventual relief. And so it's not going to be an all bad thing. However, with those malefic planets in such harsh aspect, we all need to be really careful, because there is an element of danger whenever Mars is in a harsh aspect to other planets. So you do need to be really careful. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, I think for you there's going to be some quick change almost immediately, perhaps by tomorrow, because tomorrow is when the moon will exactly conjunct Uranus, the planet of sudden change, in your sign. So there may be the possibility that there is some sort of a judgment that is, something has been reconsidered, or there can be that you have been thinking of making a new beginning, or you might have already been in the process of that. And for one reason or another, it can be that can sort of blow up right now, or it can look as if it's going to fail. And that might be a reason why you might want to make a quick change. If you do want to make a quick change, Aries, you're going to get a little help from your friends, which is wonderful, so it will be successful. And the reason why you'll get a little help is because Jupiter in Leo is trining your sun sign, where the Moon and Uranus are, and Saturn in Sagittarius is also doing that. So this grand trine in fire signs is going to help you out, Aries, and that simply means that if you get in a little bit of trouble or you don't like the way things are turning out right now, you could start over. And a lot of people are going to be starting over this year, but you're going to get some help with that, Aries, and that means that you could make a very quick change, and you could sort of be out of one thing that is not working out too well and into something else that could work out well. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, remember I said that at a slower pace, there are some things that are also being successful right now due to facing practical reality. Well, you're awfully good at that, and actually the sun in your sign is trining Pluto in Capricorn right now. And even though that Pluto is retrograde, it simply means that even if there is a change of management or a change in policies, it can still tend to work in your favor. And on your part, you may be deciding to watch your budget a little bit more closely or improve your health, or it can simply be that you're looking at your long-range prospects, and by turning around your investments in one way or another, they can be looking a lot better. And so I think that this is good for you, Taurus, because you're really good at problem solving, and you're also very good at providing for others. And I think you're in a really good spot to do that. And you can be doing it in really practical, simple ways that make a lot of sense. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, you really have got to zip the lip. And that's not just for this week, Gemini, that's for the whole time that Mars is in your sign, because during that stay, which will be for about 6 weeks, Mars is going to be continually opposing Saturn in Sagittarius, and Neptune will be squaring both of those signs. Those aspects are not going to go away until Mars finally leaves your sign, because Saturn will stay in Sagittarius. It'll briefly go back into Scorpio this summer, but then it'll come back and stay in Sagittarius for a couple of years, and Neptune isn't moving either. So this is a time when you have to be very, very careful to sort of keep a lid on it, Gemini. And the reason why is that you could overexpress yourself right now. You could get angry or be jealous, or you could be frustrated by the fact that people aren't telling you the whole truth about something, but you cannot let it show, Gemini. And the reason why is that you will be misunderstood. If you come out with any kind of criticism, it could really go against you, and in fact there is the possibility that some legal judgment right now could go against you if you have been omitting any information or not living up to your skill level. So this is why you need to really play it cool, Gemini, not just for today or tomorrow, but for a long time to come, weeks. Clear from the middle of June to the end of June, you have to keep a smile on your face and just not say anything. That could be pretty hard for you because your sign rules communication. But you might not be well understood, or you might say the wrong thing, and that could get you in trouble. And that is why you have to be really, really careful right now. And there is an element of danger around you. And so you need to just watch your step a little bit and be sort of safety conscious right now if you can. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, remember I said Venus and Mercury have just changed and come into your sign, and they are trining Neptune in Pisces, which means you could make a dream come true. And I think that that would be something that would make you very happy. It may have something to do with the fact that you want to make a move, or redecorate your home, or be adding on some sort of information, or some sort of extra room in your home, which you could do, or change your property in one way. But if you have the idea of healing an old wound, you could do that too by forgiving and forgetting something and just sort of getting over it. And that would be good, because maybe that could save the day. And that is because Uranus and the moon, your own ruler in Aries, are squaring the 2 planets in your sign. And so I don't think all family members are happy right now, and I think there can be some challenges right now. And maybe you could sort of smooth things over a little bit if you wanted to. If instead you were devoted to a charitable project or a dream that could help others, this is the right time to go for that. And I think you could afford it as well. So either you can stay on a mundane level and get caught up in other people's intrigues right now as if life was a soap opera, or you could decide to take a higher path and sort of help the world. It's up to you, Cancer, but you can be successful if you decide to go ahead and heal an old wound, either yours or someone else's. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time when I think you're going to be sort of lucky. And the reason why, Leo, is Mars in Gemini is sextile your sun. It's not hurting you. And Saturn in Sagittarius is trining your sun. And the moon and Uranus in Aries are also trining your sun. If there is some sort of quick change that is brought about by the fact that a new beginning sort of blows up or fails, then I think there's going to be an opening for you, Leo. And it could even involve an opening that has something to do with something you've done in the past. In other words, you could sort of step back in to a role or a job or a duty that you had done before. And that is because a lot of people are going to have to start over. If you have to start over, you'll certainly get a little help from your friends. Or maybe you're going to be willing to help someone else. But I think you're going to be just real lucky that whatever failure results in someone else's life is going to turn out to have a silver lining, because it will represent an opportunity for you instead. And I think you ought to jump at it if you can, Leo. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is a time, as with all the mutable signs, when you really have to watch yourself closely. On the one hand, the Sun in Taurus and Pluto in Capricorn are both trining your Sun, and so in practical matters, particularly anything that has to do with finances, you're doing fine. You need to keep your mind on that, on good problem solving that has to do with employment, which is what your sign rules, or budgets, or long-term security, and focus on that to the exclusion of everything else, Virgo. And the reason why that you should be dealing just in facts and figures and not intrapersonal relationships is because that Mars in Gemini is squaring your Sun, Neptune in Pisces is opposing your Sun, and Saturn in Sagittarius is also squaring your Sun. This is not only a time of danger, possible danger for you, Virgo, but it is a time when if you try to be of assistance to others, which you like to do because you're a good problem solver, someone could take it as overt criticism and they could really resent you for it. And that is why you have to sort of stick to budgets and accounting and health matters and more or less focus on your own plans and stay out of other people's business right now, Virgo. No matter how much you might want to help somebody, it is going to backfire on you, and that is why you need to be very, very careful for the next 6 weeks. It's not just for tomorrow, as other people make sudden changes, but you should not. You should be sticking to the tried and true and continue on. And even though I think you're going to notice what's going on around you, this is a time when you should not get involved. And that is because you're not causing the problems, and believe me, you can't solve them right now. And in fact, other people could even resent you for helping out. And so that is why you need to back off, and that goes clear almost till the end of June, because that element of danger will continue until then. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is simply a time when I think that if there is some sort of sudden breakup or sudden change or a quick move on other people's part, whether it's the result of something that they want to go for or the result of a failure or because something has absolutely blown up, I think it's going to do you some good, Libra. And the reason why is that Mars in Gemini is actually trining your sun. It's not only not hurting you, it's going to help you. And the reason why is that if you need help for anything, Libra, you're going to get it from probably more people than you really want. And so all you have to do is sort of reach out and just ask for help, because an awful lot of people will rush in order to help you, and they will be very supportive of you. And it simply means that you could be real busy right now, because if there is some sudden change or a quick change on anyone else's part, they may leave you holding the bag, and you may need extra help, but you are going to get it, Libra. So this can be a time when you're actually very, very busy, and you may remain busy from now clear till the end of June, but I think it's going to do you a world of good, Libra. So, okay, you might have to take extra vitamins, but I think you're going to be pretty happy, and you will get help. Good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is simply a time with that moon, or with that sun in Taurus opposing your sun sign, when you need to be pretty careful about your investments and try to really stick to not being extravagant in any way. Remember, Jupiter in Leo is still squaring your sun. But on the other hand, there are 3 good planets in water signs, and they are all trining your sun. That is Neptune in Pisces, and Venus and Mercury in Cancer. And so if there has been some extra money that has come your way recently, or is due to come your way, you may be able to make a dream come true, or you may be thinking about moving or helping another family member. I think that you can do all of the above, Scorpio. So this is a wonderful time for you to work on your relationships, and you won't even have to work on them, really. I think that they can mend and heal, particularly if you're involved in some way that involves forgiving and forgetting and helping people get over their past pain. And I think that you can do that and make a dream come true. So this is a good time for you, Scorpio. And I don't think that you're going to be hurt necessarily. And that's because your sign is generally pretty cautious anyway. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarius? Well, Sagittarius, you absolutely are not going to be moved by anybody that wants to sort of be on the attack right now, or somebody who's jealous or envious or greedy. They're not going to get past you, Sagittarius, but they could make your life pretty miserable right now, because Mars is opposing Saturn in your sign, and they could be leaving an awful lot of pertinent information out because Neptune in Pisces is squaring Saturn in your sign. So I think that there is the possibility of some very quick change. One of the reasons can not only be this fierce opposition right now, which is putting a lot of pressure on people, and as the pressure builds, something will have to give, but also because the Moon and Uranus in Aries are trining your sun, and they are going to conjunct tomorrow. And so I think that there can be some sort of quick change. I don't think you're going to change your values at all, but I would caution you to try to conserve your energy right now, Sagittarius, because I think that you can be pummeled on all sides right now, either from verbal criticism or from people actually wanting to attack you. And this could involve countries. Remember, Saudi Arabia is ruled by Sagittarius. And so there is just the possibility of a lot coming at you, and you are going to withstand it. When Saturn is in your sign, nothing can knock you over. But you're going to have to struggle as well, Sagittarius. So this is a time when you do need to employ caution, and you're not going to change your values. It's going to take a little while for other people to understand that, about 6 weeks. So good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, it's lucky for you that the sun in Taurus is trining Pluto in your sun sign, because that means that money problems can be working out. Perhaps due to a change in management, perhaps due to the fact that there are tighter budgets, but under tighter budgets, things can be a little bit more profitable in the long run. And the long run is what you're interested in. There are actually 5 planets in cardinal signs, and they're all squaring or opposing each other. And so, you know, a quick change in somebody else's life is going to be sort of challenging for you, Capricorn. But remember, it's not your quick change, it's somebody else's. And so you need to stick to just business right now and try not to get involved in relationships that are in turmoil or can be quite challenging. And that is because you're really better at business. And so stick to that and stay out of other people's emotional upsets right now. I don't think that you can do anything about them because they're too emotional. So you've got to sort of let things die down a little bit. And that is why when there is a quick change and people are over the shock of it, it will bring relief. And it will bring relief to you too, Capricorn. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this is a time when anything could happen, and I think it could happen to you, Aquarius. And the reason why is that Mars in Gemini is trining your Sun. So you can be involved in people that are making quick changes or who are under quite a bit of pressure. But the quick change for you, Aquarius, is really going to come from the fact that the Moon is coming up to a conjunction of your ruler, Uranus. That's going to occur tomorrow. And those planets are being trined. Well, that means that if you wanted to make a change, Aquarius, you could get a little help from your friends to do it, and you can make a real quick change. I advise you to do that because I don't think there's enough money around wherever you are now to really make you happy. And so I think you do need to make a quick change. And I think not only are you going to get a little help from your friends, but I think the planets are going to help you out too, as your ruler is sort of hit tomorrow. And so I think that you probably can go for something new, and you really ought to, because some new beginning that you're involved with is failing or blowing up. And why would you stick around, Aquarius? Go for something new instead. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is a time when I think that you can be involved in something that is, you can feel like you're caught between a rock and a hard place, and that is because Mars in Gemini is squaring Neptune in your sign, and Saturn in Sagittarius is also squaring Neptune in your sign. If you have been involved in any kind of deception or cover-up, or you've been omitting some pretty important facts, you could get caught at that right now, and you could be under pressure yourself. But if, on the other hand, with Venus and Mercury in Cancer trining Neptune in your sign, if, on the other hand, you're willing to forgive and forget, that could save the day and really help heal an old wound right now, Pisces. So you can either take the high road, or if you've been taking the low road, you're going to be in trouble right now. I don't know which it is, but if you really wanted to help others, this would be an absolutely excellent time to do it. And it could be that you can heal an old wound that is related to a family member, and that would be good because it would help everybody get over it. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show anytime you want on our website, starborninstitute.org, if you subscribe to it. Bye.